Commanders fans, last night was rough, of course. And like I told you guys, I want to do like 5-minute quick hitters or 5-minute quickie videos. I mean, you get what I mean. 5-minute quick hitter type videos for the off season. And I am in jury duty, so I'm gonna be. That's my son upstairs having fun and whatnot. I'm gonna be in jury duty this week, so I'm not gonna be able to see outside from like 9 a.m. to 4. And I was joking with the guys on Commanders Kings, like watch like a crazy trade happen. So I'm gonna do a couple pre-recorded videos for this week. Hopefully a lot of stuff doesn't. Hopefully something does happen good for us, where we possibly do make a trade for Myles Garrett or something like that. Don't want to trade for Deebo Samuel. I'm gonna make a separate video, a quick 5-minute video talking about him as well. But I do want to just focus on some of the Eagles free agents. They won the Super Bowl last night. We already see their fans tearing the city up, tearing down light poles, fighting with the police and stuff like that, and looting and stealing laundry. That's what I've seen so far at 7:52 a.m. I haven't seen much. I know they've done just more. I know their fans have done more than that. I know they're going to start. I know last night they probably did some crazy stuff because that's just how they are. They don't know how to act as a fan base. But I have to tip my cap to them. They dominated. They won fair and square. It wasn't like it was not a game where you can blame on the refs or anything like that. It wasn't like that. It was a domination, belt to you know what, and they won that game. So it is what it is. Honestly, looking at it, it's like we probably would have put up a good fight against the Chiefs too. We probably would have beat the Chiefs too last night. Honestly, the way that the Chiefs play, like I really feel like we would have had a good chance to beat them. That's all I'm going to say. But, you know, the Eagles, they took care of business against Pat Mahomes. They didn't even blitz. And that's a big reason why I think we need to poach some of their free agents. Just like we keep taking all these Cowboys free agents and we keep trading with the Eagles, let's take some of their free agents. Let's do that. You know, let's make our opponent weaker. Let's make our divisional rival weaker. They still have Vic Fangio, which I wish they would have kept. I mean, Kellen Moore did a good job last night too. But if I had to pick which coordinator I would rather see leave the Eagles, I would have said, hey, Vic Fangio. Please, somebody hire him as a head coach. Somebody please hire Vic Fangio as a head coach. So free agent number one. So one, two, three, four, maybe even 5 of their free agent defenders. And they only have 7 free agents on defense. So it's not like they have a bunch of guys like us. I feel like we have a lot more on defense that are going to be free agents. We have 11 free agents. The Eagles have 7 free agents. Out of our 11, a couple of those guys are very important, but out of their 7, 1, 2, so Josh Sweat, Zach Bond, Milton Williams, Warren Burks had a solid season. Isaiah Rodgers had a solid season too. So Zach Bond, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham's a free agent, but he's going to retire. Devontae Maddox is kind of he's kind of mid, or more of a backup to the backup guy on our team. So that's not a guy that I would go after. But Josh Sweat, I already named in my edge rusher free agent video. Josh Sweat is definitely a guy that I would go after in free agency. Especially like, you know, I think we should re-sign Dante anyway. But I would still bring in, like, if we don't get Khalil Mack, like say we swing out on Khalil Mack, say we swing out on Myles Garrett, you got to go after Josh Sweat. Like, there's some games where he may disappear, but he shows up in big moments. He had a sack against us. He had a sack last night. He gets pressure on the quarterback. He's made a Pro Bowl one time in his career. Like, he gets pressure on the quarterback. He's a reliable pass rusher. And I wouldn't mind him being our one of our starters. Like him and Dorn starting. I don't think that's a terrible addition to the team. And like you have Dante as a backup rotational pass rusher. Like Josh Sweat can get you 10 sacks in a season he's done that before. He can get you like bare minimum, he's gonna get you like 6-7 sacks in a season. Bare minimum, looking at his stats. So yeah, 8 this year, 6.5, 2023, 11 in 2022, 7.5 in 2021. His market value is $18.5 million, which is pretty pricey. Not sure if I really want to pay Josh Sweat $18.8 million. This is per spot rack. This is his market value. Like a 3-year, $56 million deal is his market value right now. So I think that's a little steep, but you know, I mean, that just may be the price for Josh Sweat. Like, let me look at the free agent. I mean, the pass rusher salaries right now, like the top salaries. We're paying. I know Deron Payne and John Eller are defensive tackles, but like TJ Watt's getting 28 mil, Myles Garrett's getting 25, Montez Sweat 24 million, Danielle Hunter 24 million, Rashawn Gary, Max Crosby 23 million, Joey Bosa 20 million, Von Miller 19, Khalil Mack 19. So that's probably kind of correct with the money going up each year. Hassan Reddick $15 million. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence 13, and then the defensive tackle for the Cowboys, Adigazoa, they're talking about paying him. His market value is like $17 million. So Josh Sweat is definitely a guy I have on the radar. I said that in my free agent edge rusher video. But Milton Williams, he's a dog. Like, I hate to hype up other teams' players, but they got some dogs over there, man. It is what it is. Milton Williams, 2 sacks last night, and he had a forced fumble, I believe. He dominated the game, and he had a darn good season. Now, he's more of a rotational defensive tackle, a guy that you got to kind of keep fresh and whatnot. But when he's in there, he makes an impact. Like, he makes an impact, and we need that. Like, the trenches is where we really need to improve this roster. If you get a pass rusher in Josh Sweat, and then you get a run stuffer and a pass rusher at the defensive tackle spot in Milton Williams, and say maybe you do keep the Alabama guys. You do keep the Alabama guys. So his snap count actually wasn't that bad. For a defensive line, he had a 500 snaps, 63rd out of 219 defensive linemen, which is actually not that bad. 40 pressures, which was 19th out of defensive linemen, 19th out of 219 defensive linemen, which is darn good. Like I said, he had that dominant game. He had a 90.4 pass rush grade. His run defense grade was a 43.1. So he didn't do a great job stopping the run. I mean, their defense was good stopping the run. Anyway, he had 6 sacks in the season as a defensive tackle, 1 forced fumble, 7 assists, 70.1 PFF grade. His RES score is just off the charts coming out of college. And they grade him as a defensive end coming out of college. Like, he had a vertical leap, 38.5 inch. That's insane for a guy his size. That's just incredible. 40-yard dash, 4.6 40-yard dash for a defensive lineman is pretty darn good. Really, that's not really darn good. Shuttle drill, 4.25 seconds. 3 cone, 6.87. Like, Milton Williams, 6'3", 284 pounds. He is an athletic freak. He is. He's an athletic freak. So they definitely should go after Milton Williams in free agency. If they don't go after or if they don't get Adugazua, I mean, you might want to target Milton Williams first instead of Adugazua, to be honest with you. Milton Williams, $12 million is his market value. So, I mean, if you get him for $12 million from a 3rd round pick, that's a steal. He's probably going to go up for more than that. He probably earned a little bit more money off of the Super Bowl last night for sure. So Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Zach Bond for sure, all pro season. For him to be kind of like he was a journeyman before he got there. He was playing for the Saints, like a special teams guy. For him to dominate, like 5 forced fumbles on the season, and then he had a pick last night. Like, he had an outer body experience type of season. So Zach Bond, outside linebacker, bringing him to the team, and he's got that sideline to sideline speed. He was just everywhere. He had a knack of just being around the football. 28 years old. Josh Sweat is 27. Milton Williams is 25. And then last guy on the list is Isaiah Rodgers, the cornerback. Like, he could be a depth piece. He had a good season this year. He did. You look at his advanced numbers. He pass coverage, 82.1 passer rating allowed, and a 46.4 completion percentage allowed. No picks, but he had 3 picks with the Colts 2 years ago. Gave up only 2 touchdowns on the season. 7.1 missed tackle percentage. He's more of a rotational guy. He had 3 starts though. So Isaiah Rodgers, honestly, he's on the radar for me too. He's on the radar. You got to make your divisional opponent weaker. You just have to. So I think out of the 4 guys out of the 4 people that I named, they should take at least one of them. Get one of them. Give me at least Josh Sweat. Give me at least Zach Bond. Give me Milton Williams. One of the 4 that I named. One of the 4. So Josh Sweat, Zach Bond, Milton Williams, and Isaiah Rodgers. Oren Burks is not bad either. He's more of a rotational guy on their defense. He had to step up when what's his name? Nakobe Dean went out. When Nakobe Dean, and Oren Burks is the guy that punched the ball out of Austin Eckler's hands, I believe. So Oren Burks would not be a bad rotational pick. He's 29 years old, 83 PFF grade, which is really darn good. But he was more of a rotational guy. He only had 147 snaps during the season, which was 113th out of 189 linebackers. So maybe he goes somewhere else and gets better. He had an 86.8 run defense grade, which is really good. 83.0 overall PFF grade. Like I told you, 63.2 pass rush grade, which is pretty darn good too. 7.0 coverage grade. Had a forced fumble in the season as well. They had a forced fumble against us. So those are the guys.